What looks like an opportunity to foreign investors often turns into regret. You're already 30,000 poorer than local buyers who bought that exact same unit. Do you really think the market can absorb it all? Or will investors be fighting each other to the bottom just to secure tenants? Which means when the RTS competes, yes, definitely there will be more people coming into JB, but by how many? Listen closely to trap number 4. The 600,000. Ask yourself this, is it really a bargain if you can't find a buyer at the end of the day? Everyone's talking about the Johor Bahru property right now. The RTS, the Special Economic Zone, Singapore spillover. It sounds like the next gold rush. But here are some traps in JB property that agents hope you will never discover. What looks like an opportunity to foreign investors often turns into regrets. Because there's a darker side of JB property that most people only discover after they've signed the papers. And once you realize it, it's too late. That's why today I'm exposing 7 dark truths about JB's property that could save you from making a very expensive mistake. Hi everyone, this is Ray. Welcome back to another episode of the Malaysia Property Market Review series. Today, I'm exposing 7 hard truths about JB's property that could save you from making a very expensive mistake. So let's start with the first one, foreign levy. If you're a foreigner buying a property in JB, you are forced to pay an extra 3% levy fees. So imagine this, if you're buying a 1 million ringgit condo, before you even get your keys, you're already 30,000 poorer than local buyers who bought that exact same unit. Now fast forward to a few years, let's say both of you and the local want to sell at 1.2 million. On paper, it looks like both make 200,000 profit. But here's the painful reality, the local doesn't have to cover any levy. He can drop his price to 1.17 million. Still walk away with 170,000 in profit. And most importantly, he get to sell off his unit first. And you're stuck at 1.2 million just to match his return. Now put yourself in the buyer's shoes. 2 identical units, one is 30,000 cheaper. Which one do you think they will buy? That's why this levy fee isn't just an entry cost, it's a permanent handicap. Every time you want to sell, you'll always be the overpriced seller in the room. Now, if this feels painful, wait for the second trap, oversupply. Johor Bahru is about to see 15 to 20,000 new units hitting the market. And these aren't landed homes or nice luxury projects. They are mostly investor-driven condo, Airbnb style products, all chasing the same limited pool of tenants. So what happens when too much supply floods in? Price war, slash rents, and your property prices dropping. But here's the question nobody asks. Who's really renting in JB right now? It's mostly people who want to save on rent, not higher income earners. So think about it, when the RTS completes, will these renters suddenly start paying a premium rent? Or aren't they already the same group of people commuting daily right now? And most importantly, with 20,000 new units coming in, do you really think the market can absorb it all? Or will investors be fighting each other to the bottom just to secure tenants? But maybe you're telling yourself, it's okay, the RTS will save me. Here's the third trap, the RTS mirage. Yes, the RTS will have more people daily cross the border. Sounds like a gold mine, but let's slow down to think. These people are mostly people working in Singapore, but who want to save rent, so they rent in JB. They are definitely not high income earners from Singapore, and these people are already commuting on daily basis. So basically, they are people who may not earn that much in Singapore. So that is why they want to save rent by renting in JB. And most of these people are already living in JB. So how much more do you think the increment will be? Because to be honest, high income earners from Singapore, someone who earns maybe 4 5k or more, do you think they want to live in JB? So for a lot of them, they will still rather stay in Singapore to save their traveling time, because even though yes, the RTS will make the traveling smoother, but it's still very far from the central of Singapore. So which means when the RTS competes, yes, definitely there will be more people coming into JB, but by how many? So these people are people maybe not earning that much, maybe 1 to 2k Sing dollar. How many of these people will come in? what is the percentage? Maybe it's going to be just 1 to 5%. Maybe it's just 1%. So essentially, these are the same group of people who are already renting at JB. So how many more of these people do you think can move over? So this is something we really need to think about, because upcoming, you are not just seeing an increment of 1 to 2,000 units. You are actually seeing an increment of 15,000 all the way to 30,000 new units around CIQ itself. So can the demand meet the supply? So the hype is real, but the hype doesn't pay for your mortgages. So when oversupply happens, so you are the one who will get stuck with your property. And if you think you have found a bargain, listen closely to trap number 4, the 600,000 bait. Some developers who are desperate to move their units lower the foreign purchase threshold to 600,000. On the surface, it feels like a steal. Whoa, I can own JB property in just 600,000. But here's the trap. When you want to sell, you cannot sell to another foreigner unless the price has gone beyond 1 million. You are restricted to locals only. Now pause to think. Why would a local pay 600,000 for your unit when they can walk down the street and pick up any other properties for the same or even lower price? So they already have endless choices, and unlike you, they are not stuck with restrictions. So the so-called bargain turns into a ball and chain. Your exit poll shrinks overnight, and suddenly you're staring at a unit you can't sell. So you could be holding it for years, bleeding cash flow, or forced to sell at a painful discount just to get it out. So ask yourself this, is it really a bargain if you can't find a buyer at the end of the day? Now, trap 5 is where the real frustration kicks in. Locals enter the market with a huge advantage. Lower cost, no levy, and easier financing. So when it's time to sell, they can drop their price and still walk away with profit. But you're handcuffed. Because of the levy and higher entry costs, you need to sell higher just to break even. And most importantly, with so many new units flooding into the market in the next 3 to 5 years, what makes your unit stand out from the market? What makes you think people would want to spend more to buy your unit over the others, especially when the demand cannot catch up? So trap 6, the drop of rental prices, especially when all the 15,000 to 30,000 new units floods the market. Now again, your rentals are mostly people who want to save money, not pay a premium. So when supply surge, they will just move into the cheaper option. And locals can afford to play the game. They bought at a cheaper price without levy or easier financing. They can drop rents and still walk away okay. But what about you? In order for you to stay competitive, you are forced to cut rents too. But every cut pushes your ROI closer to zero. So when agent tells you on paper you can get 7 to 10% ROI, so in reality, when all this happens, you are lucky if you can even cover your loan. And finally, trap 7, the one most foreigner overlook. So while everyone is chasing the hype in JB, they are ignoring the quiet strength of Kuala Lumpur. In KL, foreigners don't pay a single levy. You are on equal footing with locals. Same entry cost, same exit rule, no hidden penalties. And here's the real kicker. You are not buying into speculation. You are buying into a proven international market. Expat renting near their office, corporate housing staff, embassies securing residents, lifestyle buyers looking for trophy homes. KL is still Malaysia's luxury benchmark. It has global demand baked in, not just cross-border hype that may or may not materialize. So the question is simple. Why fight a losing battle in JB starting from a 3% behind, trapped by oversupply, and forced to sell against local who always win? When KL, the playing field is finally fair and the demand is real. So that's the dark side of JB properties most agents hope you will never discover. But now you know. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It shows me that contents like this matters and motivate me to create more contents like this for you. Until we meet again, ciao.